It is Monday night, and we are here in the Madhouse with the Maverick Soul Hour with Tommy Marr. And I don't know if you guys just watched my 6 o'clock show. It's the first time I'm doing a double header with this, but we had Rory Gallagher's nephew on. Incredible. He came in from Ireland to do the show. Incredible stuff. I hope you guys seen it. If you didn't see it, go and watch it on YouTube or Ustream or in the archives with Madhouse. Guitar player. Just watch the show. I will say nothing more. You got to watch the show. Incredible. The first we did a 9-minute video of his greatest solos. Incredible. But it's been a crazy week for my next guest here. That's why we are a little late. And to boot, on top of that, my main man over here that actually plays the guitar for a living forgot his guitar. So we're going to have some fun here. He's going to play with a I didn't even want to let him see the guitar, never mind play it, but this guy can play anything. So I'm not going to even introduce him yet. I hope that everyone had a great week. I'm glad that we're here. I'm sorry for the late start, but I'll go into that. Well, I'll actually let my guest tell you that story. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. I want all my friends out there to get yourself tight. This is a good one. This man's been here. He's a very dear friend of mine, and I know he has a very world following.
I have world-class
world-class followers.
That's right.
World-class. And that is, this man has angels following him. So we're going to take a quick break. You got the Maverick Soul here. Get yourself tight. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Formula Auto Wash, where every day is a great day for a car wash. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Sundays 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Detailing packages for every budget, starting out at $29.99. 100% hand wash and detail centre. Horsehair and microfiber brushes and mitts. Proudly used in Ecolab Blue Coral soaps and waxes. Formula Auto Wash has served the community for over 30 years. Senior discounts all day, every day. Ladies' Day Wednesday, $3 off any wash. Early bird discount Monday through Thursday till 9:30 a.m. Check out our website, formulaautowash.com.
I think he's after your hat.
There's a fly in the Madhouse, and it's driving me crazy. One fly.
Wait a minute, I'll get my bazooka.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you just had another great show. I mean, Rory Gallagher's nephew, incredible, incredible stuff. And now, more incredible things. My personal friend, dear friend of the shows, he's been here 3 times, all the way from Nashville, Mr. Tom Ghent. And, well, Tom, how about you filling us in? Why you were tardy?
Well, okay, why I was tardy is I was supposed to do a date in Pennsylvania on Saturday night.
Right.
And I was really looking forward to this date. I mean, it was kind of crazy, actually, to tell you the truth, because we were supposed to play at one location. Already had made up, the flyers for that location, and I was actually on the way to walk out the door to go to the post office to mail off this big stack of flyers when the phone rang, and I answered the phone, and it was the promoter, and he said, "Well, we've had a little change." He said, "I was actually going to be playing at at this bar that featured high-end whiskeys. And, of course, it was kind of a natural that I was going to play a bar that featured whiskeys. You know, because there are a lot of people who are talking nowadays about the fact that whiskey is becoming the new wine, and a lot of people are, you know, doing whiskey tastings like they used to do wine tastings.
Oh, that should be fun.
Well, you know, people are.
I've actually seen football helmet in when you go in.
I've actually seen this on TV, like on the Today Show or something, where they were actually had people come in and they said, well, you know, sample this and sample that, and you know, what do you think? And people are sniffing it and tasting it just like they used, you know, would want. And of course, there are a lot of very, very good whiskeys out there. So, you know,
you should know.
Me being the whiskey guy.
That's right.
It made perfect sense. So the guy calls me, and I answer the phone. And at first, I didn't even know who it was. And he said, "Oh, I'm so and so, and I'm the guy who booked you at such and such." He said, "But there's been a little change." He said, "We've moved the venue to a few doors down the street, which is a wine bar." He said, "But it holds more people, and it's more of a listening environment, and I think that'll be a better gig." Well, that's wonderful. So I had to print up a whole thing, more of posters, which I did. And of course, you know, it doesn't break the bank, but it's an investment, you know, and time-consuming too. So I leave, and I'm coming up here, and I was going to leave on Thursday evening, but we had these amazing storms, and they were all, from what they were showing on TV, they were all the way up the coast, and I'm going, I don't think that I am going to drive through torrential rains and 50-mile-an-hour winds for, you know, the next 20 hours. So I waited till the next day. And then I said, okay, the best way to do this is to time this so that I'm getting into Pennsylvania in the middle of the day. The guy who's opening for me has given me a phone number. We're going to hang out and we're going to jam in the afternoon, so I'm all warmed up and ready for this gig. Well, at around 5 o'clock in the morning, I make it to, I'm in West Virginia, and I pull into a rest area, and I said, you know, I'll just close my eyes for a couple of hours. I was actually still feeling pretty good, but I said, I'll just close my eyes for a couple of hours. The sun will come out, and I'll drive into Pennsylvania. And I had all my maps with me, and I had all my, you know, all the directions written out from both MapQuest and Google, and so I had all this stuff with me. And according to both of these things and the map, when I got up to 81 near Harrisburg, I was supposed to be able to turn off to 76 and just cut across, and that's going to take me to this exit that's going to take me to 29 North and take me right into this town. Wrong. Number one, I couldn't get on to 76 because they had everything changed around. They had these detours that went to nowhere, no signs, no nothing. So I said, I will drive up to 78, and I know Route 78, and I'll drive across to 476, and I'll drive down to 76. Well, I'm driving down, and I pass this route to 276, and I keep driving, and I keep driving, and I keep driving, and I never get to 76. So finally, I found a place to pull over, and I pulled over, and I called the number that this fella had given me. And I get an answering machine. So I leave a message on the machine, and I said, you know, and by then it's about, you know, 10 o'clock in the morning, and I said, well, I'm a little confused. I said, I'm trying to find 76 and I can't find it, and according to my map, it's supposed to be coming off of this, you know, this, and of course this is all turnpike, so you're paying tolls for this. So I leave a message, and about half an hour or so later, this woman calls me back, and she says, oh, well, I'm so-and-so's mother. He lives here, but he's not home. And she said, this is my phone number. And I said, okay. I said, well, you know, I said, this is Tom Ghent, and I'm coming in. She said, oh, I heard you were coming in. And I said, well, I'm having a little bit of a problem. I can't, you know, I'm on this route, and I'm looking for 76, and I can't find it. You know, what do you know about this? And she said, well, all I know is that a lot of the numbers of the streets and all that have been changed, but I really don't know much about it. And I said, well, could you do me a favor? I said, could you call the state, could you get me the number of the state police? Mm-hmm. And she seemed, you know, kind of surprised that I would be asking her for that, like, you know, kind of like I'm getting this, well, why are you wanting to call them? You know, and I said, you know, could you please do that for me? She said, well, I don't know how to do that. And I said, okay, thank you. And I hung up, and I called Joni over here because I know that she's a sharp cookie. And I said, Joni, can you get me the number of the state police?
It's Chris we got to work on.
Can you get? He's a sweetheart.
Chris, I love Chris.
He's a sweetheart.
Love him. Love him.
So, can you get me the number of the state police in Pennsylvania? So 5 minutes later, she calls me back with 3 numbers. And I called the first one, and the guy said, you know, this is Sergeant so-and-so. He said, well, that's not our jurisdiction. We really don't know anything about that area of the town. I said, well, who does? So he gives me a couple of other numbers.
It's like the Twilight Zone.
Yes, exactly. Somebody said, you should post this with a picture of Rod Sterling.
There you go.
And had I known how to do that, I would have done it, but I'm not high-tech enough to do that.
You could have played the music.
Right,
too, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so I call, and I get this, you know, this is Corporal so-and-so, what can I do for you? And I tell him, and he said, oh, well, that's really easy. You just drive down, you know, you're headed towards it. You just drive down, and you'll be at, you know, exit 320 in no time. So I drive, and I drive, and I drive, and there's no exit 320. And finally, I, you know, get to a point where I realize there's never going to be exit 320 because most of the exits aren't even marked, and meanwhile, I am so past 320 that it's, you know,
God,
that it's ridiculous. So I pull off, I pay this humongous toll. The guy in the booth says, oh yes, whoever gave you these directions was all wrong. It's back that way, so you've got to get off and you can turn around and you go back that way and you'll get there. Fine, so I turn around, I get another ticket, and I start driving, and I drive, and I drive, and I drive, and of course it never gets to exit 320.
Oh my God.
And then I see that there's a number on the back of the ticket for an emergency. So I find this place where I can pull over, and I call this emergency thing, and the guy is talking to me like, I said, I'm kind of having a problem here because I'm trying to find 76, and apparently it no longer connects to this, and I'm trying to find it. Oh, well, oh, yes, of course it still connects to that, and it's blah, blah, blah. And it's like you're saying, either these people have no upgrade on the information of what's going on,
or Rod Sterling's in the back seat.
Sterling's in the back seat. Exactly. And so I drive, and I drive, and I drive, and finally, this kid who was supposed to open the show for me calls me back. And I said, I am out here. I said, I know I can't be too far from you because I can see on the map where 476 is probably about 20 miles from where I turn off for you, but I cannot get there. I said, is there anything you can tell me that's going to help me? He said, oh, well, that's no big problem. You'll find it. You'll find it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Well,
that was his answer? You'll find
exactly. About 3 hours later, and meanwhile, you know, I've been in Pennsylvania for like 4 hours to go 60 miles. And about 4 hours later, knowing that it was going to start getting dark soon and that I was already lost, and being lost in some place and not being able to see on top of it was not going to be fun.
That's not good for your blood pressure.
No, it was not. As a matter of fact, one of the other members of such as us said to me last night, they said, well, that's the good thing about having windows in your car, because you can roll them up and scream as loud as you want to. So anyway, I finally called this guy, and I said to him, I said, look, I said, I am really, 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 really lost. I said, I know I'm not far from you. Is there no possibility that somebody could come out here and find me? Or, you know, is there anything you can do? And he said, oh, well, not that I know of. I said, well, I guess you're going to be doing the show tonight because I am never going to find this place. It's going to be dark soon. And as soon as I can get back on 476 and get myself back up to 78, I'm heading for New York. Well, he turns around. I call a friend of mine, and I tell him to go on Facebook and to get a hold of this other friend of mine who handles my page. And she prints a retraction saying, or thing saying, Tom is canceled. Well, when I finally get to New York, the next day I look and she has sent me an email saying, well, I saw where this guy who was supposed to have played with you had left a comment on the cancellation that said, Tom Ghent is not here tonight because he chose not to play here because he doesn't want to play for the people of Phoenixville or something ridiculous like that. Excuse me. I've been doing this for 50 plus years.
What's his
and
name?
I've never...
Paulie, we go get him right now.
He ain't going to have a name. But anyway, Mud. But anyway, I mean, it really...
Wow.
So she deleted that. And then yesterday we were kind of talking about this, the whole bunch of us. And, you know, Chris was like, I would be mad as hell. So I would smear that guy's name all. I said, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I said, but I am going to put something online that explains to people that I was really, really lost. And the last thing I said on the statement was something to the effect of, there were two things that really, really bothered me. One, if I knew that somebody the age of my grandfather was driving around for 4 hours within about 20 miles of where he needed to be, I would find some way to go and find him.
If I was promoting the show, I would be...
Right, I'd call the state police
That's
and
right.
say he's driving a big blue Mercury, you know.
Don't worry, you'll find it is not a good answer.
Well, we won't go there.
I could see it still got you upset. I could see
Oh, yeah, well, it does. Of course it does.
Well,
I've never missed a show in my life.
I know. So we're going to let that...
So I just want people to be aware that I love you, and I'm not turning into George Jones. I will be there, and I've got a few more dates. And
What's the town?
Oh, Phoenixville.
That's well. Listen, you people from Phoenixville. I know this man. I know he has never missed a gig. Believe you, I know because when he came in, he's still upset about this. He wanted nothing more than to play for you people. You had an idiot producer there that really was an idiot. And maybe the town should get together and have Tom come back and play in a decent place with a decent promoter. How about that?
Right, and have the state police guide me in.
And put some street signs up.
Yeah,
maybe.
let's try that.
You know, my family's from Pennsylvania too.
Well, you know, it's
miners,
funny. As soon as I wrote that, I got a whole, within about 5 minutes, I'd have all these people saying, well, Pennsylvania has never had very good street signs.
Yeah. No, but, you know, Pennsylvania's a great state. But,
No,
I mean, I could see that it's still bothering you. And see, now me, I'm very calm and relaxed. I wasn't mad that he was late coming here. We're still having the show.
Well, I was late coming here because actually we left.
Chris had a senior moment.
No, but it wasn't even that. That added 5 minutes to the whole thing. The truth of the matter is that Joni volunteered to drive me because I said to her, I said, Joni, I really don't see that well at night, and I'm not very good at, you know, I don't know the area.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, well, I'll drive you. So fine, she had the directions that we had been given, but we were sitting in traffic. I mean, the traffic was like a parking lot out there.
They have some nerve calling any road out here the expressway, don't they?
And so...
You're here.
We're here.
take a breath. We're going to talk some music. Well, and while he's taking a breath, I want to give a couple shout outs to some great people. And number one, I can't say her name.
Oh, yes, you can.
But our beautiful angel, our Norwegian angel, Konny. Thank you so much. You are an angel to this man, and he knows that. And you are a beautiful soul and a beautiful person. So God bless you. Also want to give a big shout out to Such As Us.
Yes.
We love you
Who
guys.
will be appearing with me this weekend.
And they are playing with you. We
Yes.
will bring them up later. And one of the members is sitting over there laughing at us, Miss Joni. And we have to send a big shout out to Mark Eckel.
Oh, yeah.
And Mark is from Hot FM 106.7 in Mildura, Australia. And I think this guy has to be your biggest fan in the world.
Well, you know, it's crazy. This was a station that is a community radio. Now, the truth of the matter is, if you want to hear any real country music or any real folk music, you've got to go to either community radio or, public radio
Australia.
or college radio.
Yeah.
Because those are the places that are still saying, well, we're going to play the good stuff. We're not going to play whatever is being pushed on us by the record companies, which, by the way, I don't think that stuff is bad music. I just don't think it's country music.
Right.
It is definitely not country music. You know, saying my mother drives a tractor in a pop song doesn't make it country. And I don't want to hear any more songs about how much fun they're having down there on the farm, because I know a lot about farms, and it ain't fun. Yeah. It's hard work. You know, that's what farms are about. Yeah. And God bless farmers, because
God bless them.
Because without farmers, we'd all be dead. Exactly. And thank you, Willie, for what you're doing for farmers.
Yeah.
But like we. I'm gonna have a senior moment here, but that's all right. I'm tired.
But Mark.
Oh, Mark Eckel. I'm sorry. So Mark Eckel. Mark Eckel was sent a few of my albums, and because he was playing some songs already that I had written, and so he asked, if he could get some of my albums. And I had him sent a copy of 4 different albums. Well, he chose to start playing this one song of mine that was like 48 years old. And apparently, when he would play it, the switchboard would light up. And this went on and on and on and on and on and on. And so every show, Mark Eckel played Mary Ann. Finally, he sends me a message on Facebook, and he says, would you mind if I were to play your entire All Strings Attached album? He said, we've never done that with an American artist, and he said, I would really like to do that. I said, well, of course, by all means, do that. Well, he announces that he's going to do it, and he wants me to go on Facebook, and of course, as they're playing different songs, I'm supposed to be listening to the station and making comments and things. Well, I couldn't get on because it crashed their thing.
Wow!
It crashed their website, or whatever you call it. I don't know what it is, and so. He plays the album, so he says, well, we understand that we crashed, and so we're going to play it another time. So they came up with another time. They played it 4 times because it crashed every time that they put it on until the 4th time. And finally, the 4th time, it stayed on long enough for everybody to get on there.
I follow him, and I see the response that you get over there. It's amazing. I mean, you found a whole new world over there.
Well, you know, this is a funny thing. This is a very funny thing. I remember back around 40 years ago, being over at ASCAP in Nashville and being introduced to these two Australian writers who were over visiting there. And they went gaga. Oh, we've got all your albums. We've got all the... Well, you know, meanwhile, in the United States, I'm being told by these major labels that nobody buys my records.
Right.
And yet they knew about me in Australia. So how did they get that record? You know, but we all know how they get that record because they send them all around the world. They take the money, they put it in their pocket, and they tell you they didn't sell anything. But I was an idiot. You know, all kids are idiots. And so I didn't know what was going on. And then, after this happens, about a month later, Mark Eckel calls up and he says, oh, I've got a brilliant idea, mate. He says, how about us doing a live interview? I said, oh, well, that would be fine. So the live interview turned out to not really be a live interview. It turned out that he was going to interview me by phone, and that was all going to be live. And then, of course, it was going to be put on because the time schedule is so weird. Right. So he announces that we've done
tomorrow there, right?
Right. So he announces that he is going to do this, and the date that he's going to do it. They crashed the site four times again.
Wow.
And which was very, you know, which was really really nice.
Roy, where's that money for those records?
I'm not even going to worry about it. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about, oh well, you know, it's too bad you can't ever find the money for those records. You can't find the money for this or that. And I said to him, I said, you know, I'm at a point in my career, I said, where what it really is, I said, you know, I still have people who cut my songs every day. If they pay me, they pay me. If I never get paid, the truth of it, this is all about your legacy.
Right.
You know, someday I'm going to die, and I'm going to leave behind me hundreds and hundreds of cuts of my songs that people have enjoyed over the years, and that's what it's about. That's what I got into this business for.
Not many people get to leave something like that.
Right. I mean, I didn't get into this business saying I'm going to write songs and make money doing it. I didn't even know I was going to write songs.
Well, this is a conversation I just had with Rory's nephew. I mean, that's the thing that I admired about Rory Gallagher. He never got bought out by anybody.
Right.
He turned down money left and right, never did it, and he's like, this is what I'm going to do, and that's all there is to it.
I want to tell you a beautiful byproduct of this is, you know, I make you cry every time I come here, but
I'm not doing it tonight.
I am not going to do it until we're off camera tonight, because at the end of the show,
you can do it anytime.
After the show, after the show, I'm going to play you something that we're not going to play on the air, but it will make you cry.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
And you will love it.
You came all this way
no, I didn't come here
through Pennsylvania just to make me cry?
No, I was crying all the way through Pennsylvania. I'm only getting
I bet you were. You had to be raging.
I was raging.
I was
raging. I was to the,
oh my God, I
was
can't
to
even
the point.
imagine.
And the thing is that I noticed that there were a lot of other people who were freaking out.
Yeah.
Because I know, you know, these people are acting like there was nothing going on. I mean, you're talking to some guy and you're saying, you know, I'm sitting beside the road, there are no exit signs. He's going, oh no, everything is clearly marked.
And none of the see, I'm not hip to that stuff.
Well, I don't know anything about GPS. I don't know if it would even have worked.
They give you the wrong directions anyway. So.
Right, you know, so.
I know one thing. I used to have one of my supers, and we'd go into the South Bronx, and I was like, wait a minute. We're listening to some girl from Texas telling us how to go through the South Bronx, and she didn't even have a clue.
Right.
It was ridiculous. So,
but
let's get back to good stuff.
Yeah,
What's
well, this is good stuff. Well, let's see. I guess the last time I was here, I mentioned Donna Murray.
Right.
And she was just so delightful. I mean, she sent me all these emails and everything, and said, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you," and all her relatives and every musician in Ireland sent me a thing saying, "Oh, thank you for being so nice to Donna." So, so as long as they're going to do that,
let me know.
As long as they're going to do that, and there are a lot of people in Ireland I really, really love. I ought to mention that
that kid just came from Ireland. He's going back tomorrow.
That Maggie Young, about a year ago, put out a very wonderful cut of Whiskey Whiskey, and it actually has Irish pipes on it.
Really?
And she did this beautiful video where they're showing like Bushmills and all this, and pictures of her and her friend in a bar drinking and sharing whiskey and cheering, you know, and all of this kind of stuff. And it's beautiful, and she did a beautiful job on that. I have another big projects in the work, but I'm not going to, because it's in the works, I'm not going to play the song on the air, but I'm going to play it for you later, and it's a very significant thing. And, you know, it's just like, you know, every day people contact me and say, can I cut this, can I cut that? And I say, yes. And so what else is happening is, about a month ago, or two or so months ago, I was contacted by a friend of mine, very good singer-songwriter, a guy named James Austin. And James Austin was going to be doing this show in Louisville, which was going to be a benefit for a fellow who had this horrible thing happen to him. He went to a dentist. They were going to pull some teeth. They pulled the tooth. It got bacteria into his body. He's lost both his legs. He was a bass player. On top of it, he's lost both his legs. He has no fingers left. He's lost parts of his face. He has no nose. He's a wonderful man. I met him the other day. He's courageous. He's beautiful. His name is Troy. And they wanted to know if I would do this benefit in Louisville. So I said, oh, of course. Well, the guy who's putting on the benefit gets back to me, and he says, I have this great idea. He says, you know, he said, we are really, really, really very much opposed to the new country music. And he says, I know that that you are one of the guys who never sold out. And he said, we have Chris Gantry going to be on the show. Chris Gantry wrote Dreams of the Everyday Housewife. He also wrote Allegheny that Johnny Cash had out. And he's just a wonderful writer. I've known him for, 45 years. He's actually a New York boy who moved to Nashville in '63. And we also have, aside from James Austin, we also have this guy named Billy Gant. And Billy Gant turned out to be just an absolute killer. I mean, just an absolute killer. He does like rockabilly stuff that's akin to the way Chuck Berry tells stories. And he tells these great stories. He's got this one song that everybody in the world has got to hear, this thing called The Night I Shot Old Willie Dixon Down. And he's talking about driving into some town. He says, oh, I'm from Alabama, and I was on the road, and I stopped at this place, and I'm sitting at the bar, and meanwhile, this is really up-tempo, kicking thing, and he's got this great voice, really gravelly voice. And apparently the bartender says to him, well, you better be careful, because that woman you're sitting next to is Willie Dixon's girl. And next thing you know, there's some guy, and he's shooting pool, and the guy says, hey, fool, what are you doing here? I'm Willie Dixon, and I own this town. And he said, and that's the night I shot old Willie Dixon down, blah, blah, blah. And it goes on and like this. And it's just, and the guy's a great performer and everything. And actually, there are videos on YouTube of Billy Gant, and he spelled it Billiegant. Now, isn't this funny? On the same stage, we've got Billy Gant, Chris Gantry, which is Gant with an R-Y, and Tom Ghent. And we're on the same stage, and James Austin is there. And aside from that, we've also got Billy Don Burns, who wrote tons and tons of stuff for artists, and also produced Johnny Paycheck and a number of people like that. So we just had this incredible lineup of old school writers, and we all loved one another. It just it was beautiful. So when we did that show, the guy then said, well, we're going to be doing an Outlaws and Legends festival in Altamont, and we'd like you guys to do that. Well, we had the same people on that show, only we were also joined by Steve Young, who wrote, what is it, The Lonesome, Ornery, and Mean, the song that Waylon Jennings had a big single on, and also he wrote Seven Bridges Road for the Eagles.
Really?
And, oh yeah, and he's a an older fellow like ourselves from Alabama. And he was terrific. He played great guitar, and he really had that whole Alabama slang thing down, man. And he just moaned, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
So
That's what's missing in the newest stuff.
So we did that show, and what I was going to say, which is funny, is I sang The Pawnbroker, and I looked out into the audience, and you realize that these things are being put on in general by bikers, because they are very, very helpful. They get in and they put on benefits for the firefighters.
Everywhere.
Blah blah blah.
When it comes down to it, they're there.
They're there. And I look out in the front row.
There's one of them sitting right over there.
And it's all bikers. This guy isn't a biker.
Yeah.
And it's all bikers, and they're all crying. Great big bikers, and they're all crying. And
men cry.
Of course they do.
And
of course they do.
You're
probably not a man.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's true, and it just
That's
it
a
made
song
me.
for you.
That's right. Cry Like a Man. Actually, my friend Dan Penn, who wrote stuff like, actually funny, who co-wrote Cry Like a Baby, and also co-wrote, he and Spooner Oldham co-wrote I'm Your Puppet,
I remember that.
which is another funny story, which is another funny story I've got to tell, because we get a lot of time to burn, and I'm going to tell funny stories tonight. And I'm going to sing some songs too.
And you're going to pump your show with Such As Us too.
Yes, I am.
We need to get that out
Because
there.
I'm not going to miss this one.
I hope not.
No, there's no way. I'm not going to miss this one. We, on the 9th, I'm sorry, I'm just not commercial. And now a word from our sponsor. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, we need a few of those too. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break, but before we go, I personally would like to thank Mark Eckel for all the shout-outs you've given me, and you've been very gracious to me, and believe me, it doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you so much. You're a great man, and I love what you do in Australia, and I hope that someday we get to meet each other. I really do.
The same from me, Mark. Love you.
We'll be right back with the Maverick Soul. Hang in there.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act One will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote, or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
Like so many people, are your finances tight lately? Afraid to open your mail or even answer your phone? Well, take heart. You don't have to live like that. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you can join the thousands of folks who have used safe and effective government-insured reverse mortgages. The government-insured reverse mortgages from Long Island's Senior Reverse Network allow you to stay in your home and turn equity into tax-free cash. Our government-insured reverse mortgages can eliminate mortgage payments, credit card balances, or just improve your lifestyle. Do yourself a favor and solve these problems now. Call the Senior Reverse Network, and our advisors will answer all of your questions about our reverse mortgage programs. We've helped scores of senior Long Island homeowners like you who now enjoy a worry-free retirement. Get the financial security and peace of mind you've dreamed about. Pick up the phone and call us at the Senior Reverse Network now to set up a free consultation.
Call 1-800-985-REVERSE. That's 1-800-985-7383.
She's a little bit of the sunshine just before the rain. A little like this quiet night before the cold winds came. She's a little bit like the weather. I never know when she's gonna change. She's a part of my heart and a whole lot of my pain. Whiskey, whiskey, my old friend, I've come to talk to you again. Milk of mercy, please be kind. Drive this feeling from my mind. Don't you know, somehow his smile makes the day begin. He'd take away.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Well, I'm very, very lucky and proud of the fact that I've known Chris Christopherson for 45 years now. And he has cut Whiskey Whiskey either 3 or 4 times, including doing a duet with, with Rita Coolidge, and that Rita Coolidge has also had a single of Whiskey Whiskey out. So
It's a beautiful song.
yeah.
It really is. Janine.
That picture there. What are you asking me?
Okay.
Where
That's
where
with
lo-
Chris
where-
Christopherson.
Oh, on that picture, the pictures that you're showing. Okay, that's Chris Christopherson, and with him is Priscilla, who is Rita Coolidge's sister. That was taken backstage the night that I had my album release party in New York City for that record there, which is All Strings Attached. It just so happened that at the bottom line, Christopherson was playing, so I walked over to the bottom line, and of course the guy outside recognized me, and he said, "Oh yeah, come right backstage, come backstage. I know Chris wants to see you." And we went back, and I gave them a few of the albums. That picture right there is Chris Christopherson, myself, and the late John Lincoln Wright, who died back about a year and a half ago. Unfortunately, he was a great, great, great country music singer and writer in New England. And what was funny about, I'm gonna finish up something about that one picture, was I was asked, if I wanted to do this concert at this big, bowl type thing in Massachusetts, and I said, "Oh, sure," and it was like at the end of the summer. And so they put me on the show with John Lincoln because he had a band all together and all that sort of stuff. And so I start singing Whiskey Whiskey, and all of a sudden, like there's thousands of people out there, and they all start screaming. And next thing I know, Chris is standing right beside me. He walked out walked across the stage and walked out and sang Whiskey Whiskey with me, and everybody went crazy, and that was like very, very cool. And
That's a moment right there.
I still see him every once in a while.
Hey, there's the guy.
There is such as us, and that's all of us, including.
Oh, I think I'm even.
You're
in that one.
Yeah, you're in there. That's all of us after our last trip here.
A truly great group of people.
They are all wonderful.
Very
people.
spiritual, very soulful people, and I like people like that.
This is in Nashville. Joan Baez had come down there to cut her Diamonds and Rust album. During the same period of time, within a week or so, I was cutting the Yankee Rebel Son album.
You did background vocals with her.
I did. I sang on her cut of the night they drove Old Dixie
Right.
down. So if you listen closely to the chorus and you hear a frog, that's me. and she sang behind me on my song, I Thank the Lord for My Friends on the Yankees Rebel Sun album. And then ASCAP threw a party for me, and Joan came by, and that ended up being like the front page of the Nashville Tennessean the next morning with Joan feeding me cake. And
There's
what I
another-
always tell people, I say, you know, you really can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, that's one of my Woodstock peoples. All right. Is that it, Janine, on the pictures? Cool. Very cool.
Actually,
Do you still keep in contact with Chris?
actually, Chris is doing so much touring and everything.
Really?
You can sort of stay in touch with Chris by email, but the fact is that when you send emails, he never sees them most of the time. His wife sees them, and she does convey messages to him. And
I just get the impression that every now and then he would like to just hang with you and just...
yeah, well, I mean, I'd love to hang with him too. I mean, we were good buddies,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I mean, every once in a while I do see him, but it's usually a few
gig
years
or
in
something.
well, it's usually a few years in between,
Yeah.
and usually when we see one another, it's like neither one of us expects to see the other. We just happen to be someplace and where we end up there together, and then we end up spending the whole evening sitting
Yeah.
around bull crapping.
Right. That's cool, though. That's how friends should be, you know?
Yep.
So I know you have a big gig coming up in New York.
Okay, I'm going to tell you about it. I
All
will
right.
tell you about it. Next Saturday evening on East 35th Street, there is a venue that you can look up online, or you can look up on Facebook, and it will...
Well, you could call that guy in Pennsylvania.
No, you can't. Because he doesn't know where he's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I doubt he's left home
He's
far
gotta
enough
check
to
with
know
Mom
that
first.
to know if the streets are torn up or not. But anyway, it's a place that is called the People's Voice Cafe, and one of the things that they are quite noted for is that they have songs that deal with, you know, issues.
Yeah,
Very folky type thing, which is
something a little lacking in the world.
Which is,
today.
yeah, well, such as us is taking up the slack in that.
I love those guys.
You know, very politically
Yeah.
active, and, you know.
They're like my only true followers on my Woodstock Guru page, you know. I know Chris is always on there.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Every day I try to write something, a kind thing, that, you know, every
yeah,
day.
I read it every day.
I do.
I don't always remark,
Yeah.
you know.
No, that's as long as the message gets out.
Well, I mean, I remark sometimes, as you
and
well
I
know,
do.
but-
And trust me, it's just whatever. When I wake up, it's usually
Right,
you know,
right, and it's
whatever
all
I got
good
in
stuff.
my
I
mind.
will. No, it's all very good stuff. You're a beautiful dude, and you write nice
Yeah.
stuff.
If it makes one person
Right.
happy, it's good.
Exactly. Well, you know, we've got to make at least one person happy every day to make the world a better
It's got to start
place.
somewhere, because this is getting to be a real ugly place, boy. I'll
Well,
tell
you know, I think that one of the things that really, really hurts this world is the apathy that comes from people who think that they can't accomplish anything. And yeah, I mean, people saying, well,
See,
you know,
I
what difference does my vote make?
Well,
What is-
that's true. That's
know?
true on the other spectrum. But I believe it's more, this is the land of me. That's what I call it, the land of me. Everybody, let me stand still while the planets revolve around me. You know, you're on a line, you're in a restaurant, you're in a movie, the guy's talking on the phone, they don't care. There's no morals. There's just no morals.
Well, no, I
Gone.
totally agree with you there, but that's a
Yeah.
generational thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I was saying is that a lot of people who feel the way we do have allowed themselves to, you know, to say, oh, well, there's nothing that I can do about this. You know, my vote doesn't
See, that's
count.
what I keep putting
can't-
up, and I'm sure you've seen it too, Joni. I mean, I constantly, stop being sheep.
Right.
You know, 'cause
One brick
everybody
at a
thinks,
time.
Oh, what does it matter? But if you got enough people, I put a thing on my page the other day, which I really don't get political. I really don't. And I don't do it on the Woodstock page, but I did it. I put it on my own person. This guy lost it. I mean, this guy, but everything he said was so true. How these banks have just taken over this country and is treating us like just herds of sheep that are lost, that don't have any way to go, don't care, and they're just big shepherds living on the big hill. And like George Collins said, it's a big effing club.
That's
And
right.
guess what?
You don't belong
we
to it.
ain't in it.
Right.
So it's time to start our own club and get these bums out.
Well, it's also time to realize that the way you build that brick wall is one brick at a time.
That's right. That's what I say.
And
you know?
everybody has to say, I am not going to be afraid to stand up for what
Well,
I
do
believe.
it, and I say it in a different way. I said every wave starts as a ripple.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
So throw a pebble in that lake and get a ripple going. But we're going to have to do some music. So
We are.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
you know, we'll do some
Well,
stuff here.
I'll do something.
I love having you here. I really do. It makes my heart feel good. So.
Well, I love being here, and I am such a goofball. I don't know how I walked out of the house without a guitar tonight, but it's been so
Yeah,
it has been so
don't
crazy.
judge Tom by his guitar that he's going to be playing tonight because it's
I
on fire.
I will do the best to make this guitar sound good. You know, years and years ago, in fact, literally days probably before I met Chris Christopherson, I walked into a music store on West 4th Street, and they had all these guitars hanging up on the wall. And I was taking down one guitar after another and playing them. And the owner came over to me and he said, "Do you want a job?" He said, "You make all these guitars sound good." And I said, "No, that's all right." And, about 3 or 4 days later, Shel Silverstein walked into the club where I was playing and brought Christopherson and a whole bunch of other people in, and that's where
And Clive Davis, right?
No,
Well, that was later on.
That was later on. The Clive Davis thing is that it was Waylon Jennings and his wife Jessie Coulter. Jessie, they were both very good friends. Jessie just loved the Yankee Rebel Son album.
Yeah.
And she had a cassette of it with her, and she cornered Clive Davis when they came up to do the Country Comes to Manhattan concert there in Madison Square Garden or wherever it was. And she cornered him and said, "You've got to hear this." And she played him some of the Yankees Rebel Son album, and he called me personally in Nashville about 2 or 3 days later and said, "Hey, I'm starting the label." So that's how I got to know Clive Davis.
Not bad. All right. Only in the Madhouse. You
Okay.
hear these? I got the best, and he's one of the best in the world, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. Tom's going to get over here, and he's going to play some music for us. So just hang in there, get yourself tight. We'll be right back with the Maverick Soul.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act One will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote, or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
Guys, ready for the show? Yeah. Enjoy it.
Welcome to Formula Auto Wash, where every day is a great day for a car wash. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Sundays 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Detailing packages for every budget, starting out at $29.99. 100% hand wash and detail centre. Horsehair and microfiber brushes and mitts. Proudly used in Ecolab Blue Coral soaps and waxes. Formula Auto Wash has served the community for over 30 years. Senior discounts all day, every day. Ladies' Day Wednesday, $3 off any wash. Early bird discount Monday through Thursday till 9:30 a.m. Check out our website, formulaautowash.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and my privilege to introduce my friend, Mr. Tom Ghent.
Thank you. I'm going to do a song here that I actually wrote this for a movie several years ago, and then the movie didn't happen, but the song is still around. And if this guitar is slightly out of tune, forgive me.
Woolworths.
I'm not the kind to take love lightly. I guess I'm slightly old-fashioned that way. There was a time I gave my heart often, but I've grown more prone to caution these days. But you make loving so easy, gentle and breezy, like warm summer nights. You make loving so easy. Thank you for being the love of my life. The art of laughter gets harder to master as the years keep going faster, but I never do. Oh, I've been down, feeling kind of broken. Lord knows I've been hoping for someone like you, 'cause you make loving so easy, gentle and breezy, like warm summer nights. You make loving so easy. Thank you for being the love of my life.
That'd be one of your songs that make me want to cry. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
That
wait
was
till I
great.
sing something really happy.
That was, oh my God, that was beautiful. Beautiful.
A guy came up to me after our last show at the. Let's not get too carried away with the echo, by the way. A guy came up to me. Thank you. A guy came. A guy came up to me at after the last show at the living room, and he said, "Is it just that you're from Nashville? So many of your songs are so unhappy." He said, "Or is your life just so unhappy?" And the truth of the matter is that a lot of the songs, you know, I mean, there are people. There's this. He was a younger fella, you know, and
They're not listening.
And it kind of gets me that you got you know, all of these you know, people who are under 50 years old who are running around singing songs from Greenwich Village in the 60s. Right. None of them have ever been there, and they're singing things like "It's a lesson too late for the learning." And I'm going, wait a minute. You know, that. How about a little feeling? You know?
Really.
I mean,
some soul.
So unless unless it's up tempo and you can tap your foot to it, then it can't be happy. Now, obviously, in reality, that's a very happy song.
Love song.
Of course, it's a happy song. Yeah. I mean, he's writing it for somebody he's in love with.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
I mean, so I don't understand. Maybe I should play it faster.
A little reverb in there, right?
Yeah, a little bit of reverb is fine.
Janine.
But you know, just a touch. You know what happens is that guys like me who have a good deal of gravel in their voice, the reverb like swallows your voice, you know. Anyway, I guess I'll play something a little bit more up tempo. I don't know if
play whatever you want.
This was written by one morning. A whole bunch of three or four of us. I guess it was four of us were all writing, and we were. You know, partying, and we'd probably been partying all night. And it was Don Goodman and Joe Doherty and David Gillen and myself, and we wrote this thing. And actually, there was a cut done of this song by Henson Cargill, who you remember, Skip a Rope. That was Henson Cargill, and he actually had a single of this. I do it tremendously different from the, well, I mean, I just do it a whole different thing because I always loved Mississippi John Hurt, and he and I had become very, very good friends because he was playing in the Village at the same time I was, and we worked together, all kinds of beautiful stories, and I always loved his guitar style, and I watched him play a lot, and when we were writing this, I said, gee, this, you know, I'd like to give this kind of a Mississippi John Hurt feel, and I came up with this lick, and it goes like this. Lord, I picked enough cotton to dress half the world, breaking my heart to see my little girl running around in a hand-me-down, 'cause I can't afford to buy them fine dresses downtown. And Mama looking old at 23 from working at the mill while she's waiting on me. That ain't the way it's a-gonna be, 'cause the muddy Mississippi gonna set us free. Big muddy gonna rise up in the springtime, Lord, and ride us down oh, to New Orleans. I can't go on just a living on dreams, and I don't care if I have to swim, Lord, I ain't gonna work on no cotton gin. Just gotta get us out of this town. Come on, Big Muddy, don't you let us down. All right. You been looking at the pictures in the magazines of them uptown lady down in New Orleans, and just wanna look and it's clear to me that's the kind of lady you was meant to be. And Big Muddy gonna rise up in the springtime, Lord, to ride us down oh, to New Orleans. I can't go on just a living on dreams, blues, and I don't care if I have to swim, Lord, I ain't gonna work no cotton gin. Just gotta get us out of this town. Come on, Big Mother, don't you let us down. All right.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
See, this guitar has been sitting around the studio, and so when I discovered I didn't bring a guitar, I said, "Well, I know they have a guitar there." And then
That
he
5
said-
and 10 Woolworths guitar.
And he said, "Oh, well, you don't want to play that guitar." I said, "I'll play any guitar. Just give me a guitar." And actually, this isn't bad.
well, the guy said you can make any guitar sound good.
The
and
only
you're doing.
problem I'm having with this guitar, I mean, it actually feels very good. The only problem I'm having with this guitar is I don't know how long it's been sitting here, but the strings are like brand new and they've never been stretched, so they are.
No one's ever played it.
They
that I
tend
know
to
of.
want to go out of tune on their own.
Yeah.
That's all cool. That's good.
We're giving you a curve on that one.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Like a wolf outside your door, I've come for the feast you've prepared. So full of hunger, Lord, and drowning of thirst from years of loveless despair. And I am the hunter, still I am the prey, and you are the reason why I am this way, oh my lady. Everyone needs love. Whoa, my lady. Each and every one of us needs love. And like a lion that lies by the side of the lamb, in the spirit of peace I am blessed. Appeased by the passion flowing forth from your breast, at last I have found my place of rest. For even the hunter is sometimes at bay, and you are the reason why I am this way, oh my lady. Everyone needs love. Oh my lady. Each and every one needs love. Oh, my lady. Each and every one of us needs love.
Wow. I could
That's
listen
actually
to
a
you all
that's actually a
day
song I wrote on the
long.
piano, and I'm just sort of trying to translate it to guitar. But
You got another one in you?
We're going to give this guitar to Bret Michaels after I play it?
I
Is
don't
that
know.
what you said?
Brett Michaels.
Is it going to help him?
I'm here with Tom Ghent. That's who I'm here with.
Actually, I know very little about Bret Michaels.
Me too.
I was trying to catch the gist of what you were saying.
Oh, he called? Oh. Signed by Tom Ghent.
Oh, okay. I'll sign it for him. Good.
Sign it for us.
I'll do that. I actually signed a whole bunch of guitars at the festival last week. This is a song of mine that Bobby Bear cut back in around 1980 or so. And I didn't get around to cutting this song myself until 1983, so I guess this is a cover of my own song.
Sounds good to me.
Lord, it's easy dreaming, falling in love with you. But it's hard as dying, knowing these dreams won't come true. And tonight, as I lie here, sleepless without you, and I think on the sweet love we knew, Lord, that ghost from the past sets me dreaming about you and starts that old flame up anew. And it's easy dreaming, falling in love with you. But it's hard as dying, knowing these dreams won't come true. And I should be letting my poor heart forget you and start getting over the fall. Oh, but I'd rather keep you right here in my dreaming than never to have you at all. And it's easy dreaming, falling in love with you. But it's hard as dying, just knowing these dreams won't come true. Just knowing these dreams won't come true.
Janine, come back to me a second. Tom, I'm really sorry, but we're all mesmerized here. I know we're over, but I'm going to have him do one more song because the man needs to do another song. So I know you're sitting home enjoying yourself with a nice fire and a nice little cocktail or whatever it is, and you're listening to some good stuff right here. So one more from my brother right here because I could listen to this guy all day.
This is a song that I wrote with this fellow named Wild Bill Emerson from Bow Mountain, Alabama. back around 1970. And he was a great guitar player. He was one of these people who played the guitar upside down like Jimmy.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
And he just got this weird stuff. Boy, he was a good player. I got kind of a soft flat pick here, which I'm not used to, but I'm going to play this with it anyway. And this is called Mississippi Rainstorm. I just went down and played a tremendous gig in Alabama, a wonderful, wonderful club called Berkeley Bob's, owned by a fellow named Bob Keith, who I'm going to give a shout out and a plug to because he runs a wonderful place. It's like a 60s coffee house.
Oh, really?
In the middle of Alabama. And the one song that I didn't get around to singing was this song. It's the only song I ever wrote about Alabama.
There it is.
Oh, Daddy was a poor sharecropper. Mama was a showing signs. The drought was getting worse. The clouds wouldn't burst when Daddy left to find work in a coal mine. And Daddy, he cussed that Alabama sun and looked off down the road. There ain't nothing gonna grow if we don't get a Mississippi rainstorm. And Daddy said, Mama, you know I hate to leave you here alone, 'cause there ain't much of nothing in the flour barrel, and there's a darn little bit on a bone. And Mama said, you know I love you. I'll be so proud when my time comes. And all the time you're gone, I'm gonna pray for a Mississippi rainstorm. And then one dark and cloudy night, thunder began to roar. The pain got closer and closer, and the rain began to pour. And Mama wrote a letter to Kentucky. She said, Daddy, come on home, 'cause your Alabama son have been born in a Mississippi rainstorm. Oh, Mama wrote a letter to Kentucky. She said, Daddy, come on home. Oh, your Alabama son have been born in a Mississippi rainstorm. Oh, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Best I could do for you tonight, brother.
Oh, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. I could listen to you for days on end. Days on end.
Well, I hope you listen to us on Saturday night. If you get a chance, come on down. People's Voice Cafe.
Oh, yeah. What's the name of the place?
And it's called the People's Voice Cafe. And on the bill with me will be Such As Us, which is just one of these groups that they call themselves a rock group. I think them as like a real throwback to some of the old folk rock groups from the 60s, and the music is real, and you're right, and the songs are real, and the people are real, and they get a great audience reaction any place I've ever seen them play. And I'm just really, really happy to be on the bill with them, and we're going to rock your socks off if you come on down.
And they are great people. And, Joni, what is it, 35th, then what?
It's 40 East 35th Street. It's between Park and Lexington and the Unitarian Church.
40 East
35th
Street.
In the Unitarian Church, and it's between Park and what?
Park and Lexington.
Between Park and Lexington. So it's East Side, New York East Side. Mm-hmm.
And I promise all of you, all my people in the city, you will have a beautiful night. Go have a nice dinner, and then you go and listen to these guys. I am telling you, they will amaze you and make you feel like $1 million.
What time do we go on? Is it 8 o'clock?
Yes.
Yeah, it starts at 8.
8 o'clock. Don't miss it. I'm getting the cut sign, I'm sure. Hey, Blondie, knock it off. But we thank Tom. I can't thank you enough. I mean, he came all the way up from
Nashville.
The big, what do they call it down there? Big Easy or something?
No, that's New Orleans.
All right. I'm a New York guy. What can I tell you?
But Nashville is Nashville. It always will be, always has been. It's changed a little. I tell people there are two Nashvilles. There's the music industry, and then there's us guys who are still making music.
And they make beautiful music. So we're going to leave you with that. God bless you all. Thank you, Tom Ghent.
God bless you.
You are a true American hero. Let me tell you something.
And Janine also, because she does. She's really holding all this together.
Yes, she is.
Thank you,
She
darling.
is.
You're a keeper.
And Mealies, I hope you're enjoying your time with your friends. It was a pleasure meeting you guys. I hope you're having fun. Watch out for the doggy bites. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys. Have a great night. And Joni, thanks for bringing my man over here. You guys, such as us, incredible band. Go check them out Saturday night. All right?
Okay.
Peace to you guys. Have a blessed week, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.